Hey, I wanted to jump on today because there's been a few conversations I've been having I've been doing lots and lots of calls, lots of connection calls with prospective clients, calls with clients, past and present, just a nice mixture of it all. And there's two things that I want to cover today. I'm kind of just going to roll with it and see who jumps on, see who starts to comment and ask questions. But not really sure what the point is I want to make here, but I'm just going to trust that it's going to come through, okay? So, relationships and boundaries. What I've found has come up this week is I've been talking to prospective clients plus interviewing people for another thing that I'm doing. And there's been a lot of talk around the mirror, right? The projection of what we need to see is mirrored to us in our clients or prospective clients. But I want to take a few different angles at that, because the thing that stood out the most has been the amount of people, coaches and healers, that are actually writing their messaging and copy that is their own story and they can't see it, right? So say, for example, they're not thriving. There's like major survival issues going on within their own personal world. And they can find that in me and tell me all of that, and yet go online and post for their prospects how to get, into thrival and flow and alignment. And it's really confusing me. And I want to send the message again to be super, super clear that what you're teaching isn't actually what you need to know, right? Because if you're promising this holistic, incredible transformational result, and yet you're actually sitting there struggling your ass out and trying to survive, no one's going to buy anything. Nobody's going to enroll in what you're teaching, right? And the next part that I want to move into around relationships and boundaries is what happens then is when people do start to connect in with you, right? Say that what you're offering has gauged interest. There's a couple of things I want you to think about. One, when you work with a client, you are creating a relationship with them for life. And I personally like to be really transparent. I don't like to do sales calls. I don't like to make people feel that they're going to be convinced or influenced, right? I'm incredibly transparent. And the way that I actually choose to operate, so the boundaries within the relationships that I create, is no different than if I was going to go into an intimate relationship with somebody. If I don't like them, I don't pursue it. If they're reflecting back to me traits or behaviors that I don't believe we're going to get along well with, I won't enter into a relationship with them. And I want you to think about that the same way. And the difference between this is scarcity and abundance mentality, right? When you're in scarcity, you kind of just accept whoever. Okay, if you're so starving for connection, let's use an intimate relationship as an example. If you're so starving for connection and for touch and to be seen and to be heard, you might just settle for whoever shows interest, right? But when it actually comes to long term, when it actually comes to somebody that other people connect you to, somebody that if people say, oh yeah, I'm going out with her or I'm associated with her, you're actually proud to be associated with them, right? So I want you to start to think about the relationships that you're creating with potential clients and with your avatar the people that you want to attract, be really clear on who that is, so that when they come to you and they start to show traits, right? When people tell you who they are, believe them. So let's say you have done a Facebook post about something and you've gauged interest and people have reached out to show that they're interested in whatever you're offering. Then you have a structure and a system, right? You have boundaries of what you work through, be it whether you lead them to a call or a sales page or whatever, okay, to get to your product or your service. If they start to behave in a way that isn't congruent with who you are as a person, when you take the mindset that you're not selling to anybody, right? If anything, my clients actually have to sell themselves to me. You actually have to woo me, right? You've got to date me. You've got to come into my world and show me that I actually want to build a relationship with you and that I actually believe that I can help you. But if you come to me and you start showing me traits like not showing up on calls, not responding to emails or messages, having to be chased, I will not chase you. Yeah? You following what I'm putting down here? I don't chase. I will not sell to you. I will not try to convince you. And I will not jump through your hoops of your belief systems and your own fear of investing in yourself. I won't do it. Because that's scarcity mentality. And that's from people who haven't got the respect of other people's time. They are often so caught up in their own busyness that they don't prioritize growth or other people's time. When you're in the abundance mentality, however, you make meaningful connections. You don't go out and just randomly message a whole heap of people whose messages resonate, right? You're articulate about it. You've actually thought about it. You actually know where you're going. You know your weaknesses and your strengths, and you know what you need help with. And you also know that when you do invest in yourself, it's going to get you to the next level, right? There is no magic wand or magic solution that's going to be the be all and end all for anything. It's a journey. You're always going to be choosing new mentors and moving through and growing and evolving and learning the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, right? However, you need to really get to know yourself and start to become the freedom to thinker. Because when you become the freedom to thinker, you stop being afraid of your own power and you stop being afraid of your own growth, and you begin to invest in yourself in a really powerful way because you know what you need. And then when you do reach out and connect, when you're in that abundance mentality, you're showing your truth, right? You're showing up. You're proving to a mentor like myself and like you guys are that we can begin a relationship together because we agree, we have the same integrity, we have the same values, we have the same expectation. And therefore, I am certain without a doubt that I can help you achieve transformational results. If, however, you manipulate, gaslight, ghost, don't show up, are hard to get onto, all of those things in the dating period, right? So in this, you reach out, we're going to organize a call, we're going to connect, we're going to chat. I'm sorry, but I don't want a relationship like that. Because if you're like that in the beginning, then you're also going to be very hard to convince to do the work. I'd love for any of you that are watching to share anything that's coming up for you. And so to finish up on that, you need to get clear on your boundaries. Now, when these people show up, and they can be a reflection of you, right? This again is where you must do the work to get to know yourself well. Because if people are showing up and are, not showing up to the call, or you're sending messages out, they're not responding, you need to check in with yourself. How often do you do that? Is that actually a direct reflection of something that you do, and now you're kind of on the receiving end, right? If you did in the past, but now you don't, great, you can let it go and you can just say, no thanks, we're just not a good match, we're incompatible to work together, right? Abundance mentality. You do not work with everybody who has the money and is going to reach out to you. First red flag I have for people is if the first question they ask me is how much does it cost? I usually won't even enter into a conversation because it doesn't matter, right? Of course, people have their own limitations. However, if you knew the result you were going to get and the return on investment you were going to get happened, you just make the investment work. They're the people I want to work with, right? So as soon as somebody asks me that, there's two things. I know we haven't built enough rapport and they don't know who I am and they don't trust me. And secondly, they don't trust themselves and they're probably shopping because they don't trust that they can get a great result, and so they're concerned about investing the money because they haven't done it enough to trust that they can make an investment and grow to the next level, right? And then it just makes sense to surround yourself with the right people. So coming down to the boundaries, as I said, you recognize that trait and just say we're incompatible. That is not a reflection of who I am. This is just simply me choosing that, no, I don't want to date you. I don't want to form a relationship with you. Yeah? And let them go. You're not a fit. Stop following up. They've already shown you that, and it's not something you want to enter into. And secondly, with the boundaries, when that flow is there, it's really asking yourself what it is that you want to share and what you want people to know about you. So again, it's setting boundaries with your clients of, don't call me on the weekends. You can contact me between these hours. This is what happens when, when you're working together, this is what you can expect of me and this is what I expect of you, okay? Setting really firm boundaries of what it looks like, because just because somebody has invested in you and is working with you doesn't mean they get full access, right? You get to set the boundaries all the way from the moment that you make a connection with somebody who's interested in what you offer, all the way through to the end when you're finished working together. So I would love for you to, give me some feedback on what your takeaways have been and share them. Let's have a conversation in the comments. There's only a couple of you on at the moment, so I'm going to head off now, but just type an emoji or something if you want me to wait, if you want to type in a comment. And just to wrap up while I wait for that. So just talking about the relationships and the boundaries, getting out of your head that you're selling to people, that you're trying to convince people to work with you, and instead have people walking toward you. And you're the one who gets to decide. Nobody gets to throw money at me and then do my programs. Doesn't work that way, right? Because in order for me to be able to really gift transformational results, then we've got to be a great fit. We've got to be able to work together. And the traits of the other person and the belief systems and the way that they operate can't get in the way of that. Otherwise, you're just wrestling that the entire time. Yeah? So be really firm in your boundaries. Be really strong in the relationships that you build and see relationships as one and the same. There is nothing different between relationships with friends, family, your partner, and your clients. Okay? They should all be the same kinds of incredible, amazing people that you have a lot of respect for, so that when they win, it's like having your own child succeed at something. You know, that unconditional love is there, and you can really build strong foundations together. So I'd love to hear your takeaways. Please pop them in the comments, and, you know, let's have more engagement within this group, because I'd love to share more. But again, the relationship with you guys, I want you guys to show up and start to share and ask questions and, you know, get stuff out of me. There's a lot in here that I can help you with. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.